We are back with another installment of Ask the Agronomist with Ben Pease and the Andersons. And today's question comes in from somebody who wants to remain anonymous, which is exciting. So, yeah, you can ask a question and remain anonymous if you would like. They ask, it's pre-emerge time. What are your suggestions for teas and greens?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good topic. We could spend the whole hour on that if we really had to, but we can boil it down to a couple things here. Teas. So if you're not using bent grass, it's and other cool season turf, we could use a mesotrione product. So we've got fertilizer plus mesotrione. And what that'll do is you not have any effect on any of your divot mix germination going forward, because mesotrione doesn't stop turfgrass seedlings from germinating. So that's an advantage of using, yeah, mesotrione in an area where you are maybe trying to get regrowth even a month or two into the season. Bent grass or warm season grasses, we can use barricade or dimension products. I think barricade's used more in the southern market than dimension, but either is a good option. But like I said, in contrary to mesotrione, it will stop germination from anything in your divot mixes because dimension or barricade stops turfgrass seedlings as well as weed seedlings. So that's a little bit of a downfall there. But fertilizer plus herbicide products are pretty good. There's versions of fertilizer plus mesotrione. There's multiple options from the Andersons and others in the dimension or dithiopyr plus fertilizer or the barricade prodiamine plus fertilizer. So dozens are available. We won't run through those, just because it depends on what fertilizer analysis you want to use and things like that, and what AI loading you want as well. For greens, really the main thing that we see used is our goosegrass crabgrass control, and that's by the Andersons. So that's your best bet for especially goosegrass control. Now, it does work on crabgrass as well. There's other options for crab, but if you're going after goosegrass pre-emerge on your greens, really that's your best option. With that product, though, make sure you do follow the label instructions carefully. There's some stuff on there about watering it in and using half rates twice to reduce some yellowing potential. So take a look at that if you are going with with goosegrass, crabgrass control. Greens, there's some dithiopyr options too. You can use smaller SGN fertilizer plus dithiopyrs. So there's a few options there, and it's got different analysis. There's a couple examples that we have that are 150 SGN. Yeah, 14014 has a 0.164% dimension, and we've got a 15010 that's got a 0.25 dimension on it. So as I mentioned before, watch the AI loading rates because that'll change your application rates. And of course, with these fertilizer plus dithiopyr options, you've got slow release fertilizer paired in there already, and so that's anywhere from 25 to 50% slow release. And again, that will be dependent on the AI loading. So as we do more AI loading, we increase the slow release percentage in the fertilizer because it's going to have to work for longer. But those are great options to control crabgrass, not so much goosegrass. They will suppress POA to some extent, so be mindful of that.
So
Yeah,
Dimension is one that we're pretty familiar with up here. I've used for controlling weeds before. I know when you look on the back of that label, there's a lot of information, all the different specimens and everything's on there. How do you know what program to use when you're looking at that?
good question. Yes, if you look at any of the dimension or dithiopyr products, you're going to see, I think there's four different programs. And in that little program box on the label, it's going to kind of weed it out, pardon the pun, by, height of cut. So how tall are you cutting? Where are you going to apply this? Is it on a green? Is it on a fairway or a home lawn or your rough or something like that? So low cut turf or high cut turf is going to push you into one program versus the other. And then also, we all know with dimension and dithiopyr, there is some slight post-emerge activity too. So the second option to kind of look at in those program charts is, are you doing a traditional pre-emerge, or are you doing something a little later where you're maybe trying to catch the end of the pre-emerge, but the beginning of post-emerge? So that's the second part to look at on those programs. And when you think of those two factors, height of cut and your timing of application, that'll drive you just to the exact program that you're going to need for that area of application.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by again, Ben. This has been another great installment of Ask the Agronomist presented by the Andersons. And like always, if you want to get your questions in, send them to us or send them to somebody at the Andersons, and they will get them to us.